Greetings, humans, and welcome back! I'm Joey Pigtails, and this is episode 39 of my poker vlog. The MoneyMaker Tour is back in town, and I've been bouncing around between Daytona and Orange City, losing a bunch of money in tournaments and then working to get it back in cash games. The last couple of hands you'll see are from the PLO cash game in Daytona that has a little story behind it, so I'll fill you in when we get there. As for the rest of the hands, well, you've seen me get whacked with the variance bat time and time again, oftentimes leaving me with trauma that takes weeks to get over. This is kind of like that. Except this time, I get to swing that bat around myself. What you're about to see here is purely unbridled poker violence, courtesy of the poker gods. It's not for the faint of heart, so grab some popcorn, a cold one, and maybe a teddy bear to hug tightly. Prepare yourself for some rated R level action. This table looks lively. I bought into the game for $300, less than the cap. My bankroll has been taking a beating, so I'm trying some short stack play. I call the $20 open, as does the button, and now the big blind pops this up to 110. Seat 5 calls, and you know what? Fuck it. I came to gamble a little. I call, and the button folds. On Queen 9-6 Rainbow, I flop open-ended with 8 clean outs to the nuts, and perhaps even a jack could be good here. Seat 2 open rips it in there. Seat 5 beats him in the pot, and getting 4-1, I stick my money in there, getting a great price. The dealer gets the pots right and delivers an offsuit 8 on the turn, giving me the nuts, and then a clean river for a scoop of the main pot. Just like that, I'm sitting on about $900 and covering the table. We pick up the action here on the flop. I have decent kings, but just call the $10 straddle since I'm in the big blind, and we go 5 ways to king, queen, 4, 2 hearts. I bet $30 when check to. I want to build a pot and get to the turn to see 2 calls behind. The 8 of spades is pretty clean, so I lead out for 105, hoping for some action, and seat 8 now snap rips it on me. Seat 1 folds. I call off, of course, and we see a 2 of hearts on the river. Ooh. My opponent says hearts are good, but I don't have hearts. I've got kings, which I suppose is just about the same thing. My opponent had a set of queens, so this was a massive cooler for him. I've managed to run this stack up well over $1,000 now. It feels great. Dan in seat 5 opens to 20, and I look down at single-suited queens and 9s on the button. These high double-paired hands have a lot of value for flopping sets and straights, as well as for blockers. This specifically is also a prime 3-bet hand, so I pop it up to 80, and everyone folds to Dan, who's all in for that. We run the board out, and I bink a queen on the river for top set, but those queens were good anyway, as Dan had a Broadway rundown and was trying to spin up a stack. The very next hand I open this double-suited hand from late position to $15, which sees 2 calls. On 3-5-9 Rainbow, I have a pair and a gut shot, and decide to check this back when check to. I have equity to play with, but betting and getting called doesn't really tell me anything useful. The turn is a 2 of diamonds, giving me a wheel, and now TJ in seat 1 leads for 20 with like 60 behind. Bill folds, and I would have expected TJ to lead the flop with a hand like 6-4 in it, so I rip it on him and he calls off. The river pairs the board, but my straight is good enough to take this as TJ mucked without showing what he had. Dan has rebought with a bit over $300 to start the hand, and opens to 20, looking at me after he drops his chip saying,
"Ready to party?" Yeah, I guess so.
Hell yeah, baby. I pop it up to $65. It's folded to Dan, who repots it, and we get it all in. Dan, of course, has the other 2 aces. Of course he does. And this is typically going to end up in a chop. But sometimes someone's heart gets broken, and you know we're all here to see the blood spilled. The 2-2-5, 2 club flop gives me a virtual free roll, and this fucking guy right here gets super lucky to bink that club on the river and rake this pot in. It's definitely party time, baby. I open double-suited jacks to 15 and see 3 calls. On Jack 8-4 Rainbow, here I am with top set again. I don't care for an 8 being out there since I have one in my hand. I bet 40 when check to, a less than pot size. We want to build a pot, but also be able to do this with monster draws too, since pot size bets tend to scare people away. I get 2 calls, and the turn pairs the board with another 8. Okay then. I have all of this, and I'm first to act. It's hard for anyone else to have anything of meaning here, and betting again is sure to get everyone to fold, so I check looking to induce or get some river value, and it's checked through. The inconsequential 5 on the river changes nothing, so I bet big, 125, hoping it looks bluffy, but both players end up folding. We pick up the action here on the flop after a $20 open and 4 calls. I have top set again and check from the small blind looking to induce, and seat 8 takes the bait and leads for $70. It's folded to me and I pot it to 310 and my opponent ends up jamming over. You've seen this a few times this vlog and I've been lucky so far to hold with top set each time. Thankfully, I hold this time as well, resulting in turning $300 and over $2,300 this 3-hour session. On to the Daytona hands. So this hand was right before late reg ended in the last flight of the mystery bounty event. I had $375 to start the hand, and we're 6-handed. There's a $10 straddle, and all of us end up making the call. On 5-10-7 rainbow, I flop second pair and an open-ended straight draw, giving me 8 clean outs to the nuts. There's 2 checks to me, and I lead for 50. There's 1 fold before we see a pot size raise to 210, then an all-in for about that much. I'm not folding here, so I rip it and get called. I let the guys know that if I get scooped here, I'm going to go late reg the bounty event. The dealer gets the pots right and rips jack on the turn on top, giving me the straight, and I let the guys know I'm going to go fire the bounty event if I scoop this pot. The bottom board gives me a 6 on the river, and even though I don't have the nuts on either board, I am good to scoop this. I run over and I barely make it to the late reg window. With 1 second left to go, the lady swiped my card, and I managed to get into that thing at the very last second. Sadly though, that bullet ended in tragedy as I was knocked out in a pretty big cooler late. Remember last vlog when I was racked up to leave and played one last hand? Here we are again. There's a few limps to me, and I pop this to $30 on the button, getting 4 calls. On Ace-King-5 Rainbow, I should be ahead as the RFI here with a set of kings, so I bet 150 when check to. Now Lenny in seat 4 check raise pots this to 605, and I've seen him do this with a variety of things, including top 2 pair and bottom set, so I put the rack in the middle, and he snaps me off with top set of aces. Seriously? What the actual fuck? We settle on 2 boards, and I manage to hit runner clubs on top, but don't improve on the bottom, resulting in me miraculously avoiding the curse of playing out of the rack. Oh yeah. What a crazy set of sessions. And by the way, I know I've mentioned this before, but the PLO games at Orange City in the evenings have been absolutely off the rails lately. Last night on Thursday, we had 6 PLO games going, including high stakes like 5-5 and 5-10. So if you haven't come out to play this room yet, you need to get here. I'm tentatively planning on returning to Daytona on Saturday afternoon for the MoneyMaker Tour Round and Round No Limit Hold'em and Pot Lemon Omaha Double Board Bomb Pot Tournament. Man, that's a lot to spit out there. So if you're free, come join me out there for this. I'll probably record it for the vlog too. Also, I'm working on collecting some stories from dealers for a video I'm looking forward to making called Don't Be a Douche to Your Dealer, highlighting the worst of the worst behavior at the tables and a few things we all do that are actually really annoying. For now, I'm headed to the gym and then towards Orange City for some PLO cash. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Joey Pigtails, and I am transparent, reminding you to be a good human. Bye.